Welcome, Keith Aichele here, founder of NextGen REI, and I'm excited to share with you here today the 3 pillars to building wealth. Once you know and understand these 3 pillars of wealth building, it will change your financial trajectory for life. Now, I believe so strongly that these principles should not only be taught at the college level, but even at the high school level, because if you could understand at a very young age how to build wealth, it will change your financial trajectory without question. And no matter where you're at in your life right now, whether you're young, you're old, retirement, these principles can be executed starting right now. And as I go through this, you might be a little bit lost as to, okay, I get it, but how do I start building one of those pillars? At the very end, I'm going to show you how you start building these pillars no matter where you're at in your life today with little to no money in your bank account. Wealth building starts no matter where you're at in your life. You don't have to be rich to build wealth. That's how you create wealth. Everyone that got wealthy had to start at the bottom somewhere. So don't let your position in life today hold you back from being able to create unbelievable wealth. Set your future for the way you want it to look. So let's go ahead and jump into these 3 pillars of wealth. Okay, the first pillar of wealth building is
cash flow.
And I'll explain in more depth all 3 of these pillars for you. The second pillar
is cash infusion, which is a new term for many people.
And then the third pillar
is net worth.
These 3 items individually work together to create your overall wealth. And we're going to break down each one of these pillars for you so you understand what they are, what they mean, and how they play together. So let's start off cash flow. Cash flow is the idea of how you're getting money on a monthly basis, and is usually cash flow is what you're using then obviously to pay your monthly bills, your utilities, your car payments, your mortgages, etc. Most people use their regular job. They go get a job and become employed by some company to get a paycheck every single week or every other week, and they use that money to pay their bills. That's their cash flow on a regular basis. Now that describes the majority of America today, and it also explains a little bit why most people get to retirement and they're still working and they still can't figure out how to make ends meet, because most people end up only living under this one pillar, cash flow. They're living in cash flow world, and cash flow is never enough. You know what they call a job, right? Just over broke. And cash flow on its own will not lead you to get to wealth. There are some exceptions, but the majority of the time, cash flow is not enough. You've got to have these other elements of the equation. Now, I'm going to tell you, as I use some of these examples, I personally, one of my core investments to build wealth is real estate. What I share with you here does not apply only to real estate. You can also do it through businesses, and I own several businesses as well. But you could be doing it with stocks. You could be doing it with Bitcoin, these different strategies. So for me, it's real estate because it's, as you may know, real estate creates more millionaires than any other path. So I believe everybody should have real estate as part of their overall wealth strategy. So we talk about cash flow. That's what cash flow means. So it's kind of the monthly recurring income that's coming into your bank account. The second pillar here, when we talk about, is cash infusion. And the difference between cash flow and cash infusion is this is kind of sporadic, if you will. So cash infusions is where you might get chunks of cash, maybe $5,000, maybe $10,000 at a given point in time. And this could come from a variety of sources. Maybe you inherited some money. Maybe you sold an asset, a big asset of yours of some kind, and so you get this cash infusion. Some people hold stocks for a while, and then they sell those stocks, and they cash them out, so they get this cash infusion. What happens is that cash infusion can disappear in an instant and go off to buy vacations or buy new cars or wherever it might be. And that's what a lot of people do when they get cash infusions. They go spend it. Give me an example of this. Almost every April, people get a tax return check from the government. Where does that money go? For many people, they spend it on things they want in life. Those things they're buying are typically not creating any trajectory forward in their wealth. And so what I want to talk about here is how, in a minute, is how you use that cash infusion to be able to start building your wealth. Now, net worth is where you own assets. Net worth is where you have assets that are creating value to you. Now, the challenge with net worth and having these assets is they don't provide cash flow. They don't pay for your bills every single month. For example, you could own stock in a company, and it could be worth a ridiculous amount of money, but if that's not giving you cash every single month, it's not going to help you pay your mortgage. It's not going to help you pay your car off or pay your car payment or your utility bills, right? So you can't have net worth alone. But net worth helps you create even more assets and more cash flow. So you want to be building all three of these. So let me explain to you how you do that and why real estate is such a great way. When you have real estate and you are renting real estate, for example, real estate, when you own rentals, creates cash flow streams for you, right? This becomes your rent every single month, which can help you pay some of your bills. And the more real estate that you can acquire, it means the more cash flow you have on a monthly basis, which means the faster you can pay off your debts or be able to create yourself to passive income and true financial freedom. Financial freedom is not about how much money you make in life. It's about having more income coming in than expenses going out. That's how you have freedom, whether you're getting it from a salary job or you're getting it from passive investments like real estate or businesses that you own. So when you own real estate, you're building two things. You're building not only your cash flow, right, through your rents, but at the same time, your house is an asset, and that's going up in value, creating you more and more net worth. And the reason that becomes important is you can leverage and borrow against net worth to be able to do other things, like buy more real estate, which creates a cycle that continues on and on and on. Now, some people get into real estate and they do things like wholesaling, or they're a real estate agent. I'll tell you why. If you go look this up online, the National Association of Realtors will show you online. Look it up. The average real estate agent makes $41,800. That's it. Or that was maybe in 2018. Doesn't matter. It's super low. You can't really live in today's world on $41,800, at least not the lifestyle most people want to live. So when you think about it, they're in real estate, which creates more millionaires than anywhere else. But why is it that most real estate agents don't make any money and they don't get involved in real estate investing? It's because they're not following the idea of building all three pillars of wealth. Because in real estate, and like some other types of contract businesses, anytime they sell a home, they get a check. They get a big check, and that big check comes in $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000, and it's a cash infusion. Most agents only sell about 6 homes per year, so they're not making regular, steady income. So they get a cash infusion, and what do? They use that cash infusion to pay their bills. When instead, your cash infusions, and here's the secret, guys, to wealth building. Your cash infusions should be used to be building your side pillars. All right, of your net worth and your cash flow. And here's what I mean by that. If you get a infusion of $5,000 or $10,000, you should be using that to invest in the real estate so that way you could start getting cash flow and be building your net worth at the same time. Now, a lot of people say, well, how do I acquire real estate with $10,000? I've got a separate video that you can watch on how to acquire multiple properties with $10,000 or even less. Guys, you could acquire multiple properties with $500, $1,000, or no money. I've got videos on that as well. But let's say you had $10,000 as your cash infusion, $3,000, $4,000 from your tax return. You could be turning that into ongoing cash flow and net worth building all at the same time. Now, you could buy a business. Right? So again, it doesn't have to be real estate. You could use that money to invest and become a partner in a business, and that's producing cash flow. Businesses can create massive net worth. Here's the proof. The richest individual in this world, Jeff Bezos, is worth billions and billions of dollars, and he doesn't have it as cash in a bank account, does he? No, he has it stock in a company. That's net worth. It's worth nothing to him now and to go out. You can't buy a car with that, but it will be leveraged so people will give you a loan for a car because you have this net worth. Does that make sense? This net worth over here becomes leverage, guys, and it allows you to use that as leverage to acquire more assets. More assets produce more cash flow. More cash flow creates more opportunities in your life to start building financial freedom. When you have more cash flow, you could take on more investment projects that are short-term that give you cash infusion, which then, look at the diagram. Cash infusions go where, guys? They keep flowing upwards into the other side. So I like to think of these as the wings, okay? Cash flow and net worth are the wings of your cash infusion. So you want to have a strategy set up in your life where you are building all three pillars. Ask yourself today, what am I doing to increase my cash flow on an ongoing basis? It's not going to be working hard at your job, because you will get small raises and over time, and you will find a way to spend every dollar that comes in, most people anyway. What are you doing to build cash infusions in your life today? What are you doing to build net worth in your life today? What are you doing to get to 5 or 10 paid off properties before you retire? Because if you got 10 paid off properties that only net you $1,000 a month, that's $10,000 a month that you get to live on for the rest of your life. So what are you doing, guys? This is my question to you, to build your wings and build your overall wealth through these three pillars. It's understanding these three pillars, and not just understanding it, watch it, great, I get it. It's about taking action right now, today, and setting up your own personal plan of how I'm going to start operating and building all three pillars of wealth. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, for me, real estate is one of my primary, also businesses as well. Can you do it in stock? Absolutely. I'm not an expert in stocks, so don't ask for any tips. But yes, you could be holding stock. You could use that and do some cash infusions as you sell them out, and then go buy real estate now, or other businesses, and now you have cash flow. So you can play with the ingredients to the pillars as you're comfortable with. Bitcoin, maybe that's your thing. I do not care. Maybe it's art. It doesn't matter, as long as you have a strategy that you can do consistently and control your risk or understand your risk. Real estate is such a powerful way, so I always recommend real estate. So there you have it, guys. Those are the three pillars to build wealth. You've got cash flow. In the middle, you got cash infusion, and then you've got your net worth. And they've got to work in unison. It's not one or the other. You can have a ton of net worth, and you could go broke because you didn't have the cash flow to pay your bills all the time. Flip this around just for a moment as a proof point of this. How many of you guys know the story of Elon Musk? He sold his business of PayPal, right? And for like $180 million. So he sells his business, gets $180 million, and he puts it all into Tesla and SpaceX. He then was living on somebody else's couch. The guy had $180 million, but he was sleeping on somebody else's couch. Why is that? Because he had a lot of net worth, but he had no cash flow, right? So his net worth, though, he used as leverage to create these companies then that created massive, massive wealth for himself. So you want to spread out your plan so you're building all three pillars of wealth and do them in unison. I know many of you are loving what I just shared with you right now, and you're thinking, this is great. I want to start building in my three pillars of wealth, but how do I get started? Maybe you have got a lot of money saved up in a 401k that's not earning you, and you see it's not going to get you the retirement the way you want. Maybe your bank account is completely empty with 2 cents left in it. No matter where you're at, I want to show you how you can get started today through real estate, building your wealth. This is an area of expertise. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I'd love to give you as a gift right now how you can get started and start acquiring real estate with little to no money out of your pocket. The reason that's so important is the less money you need to use to invest in real estate, even if you have money, the less you need to use will allow you to start acquiring more properties faster. Some properties you'll keep long term for building your net worth. Some you'll get rid of in just a year or 2 years and get cash infusions to continue to build even faster. And all of those together will be building you cash flow all at the same time. So if you want to learn those strategies, check out the video I have for you next, which is how I made $35,000 off $100 in 1 year, and you can use the same exact strategy. Now, if you like the content that you're learning here today, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss any new content as we publish it. Thanks for joining me here today.